My real estate team earns over $3 million in commissions and sells over 100 homes every single year. These are the 7 steps I would follow if I was relaunching my team or optimizing it to make as much money as possible. Number 1, agent offerings. You're gonna write down a list of everything you are going to provide them for joining your team. It could be support, it could be leads, it could be training, it could be open houses. It doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna write it down. Then you're gonna write down how much you're gonna charge them for offering those services. Are you gonna do a 50-50 split? Are you gonna give them 70%, 80%, 95% of every deal that they bring in? It doesn't matter, you make the rules. Finally, you're gonna write down your ICP, your ideal customer profile, or the target avatar of the agent that you want to go after. It's often easier to recruit brand new agents because they have no idea what they're doing and they're willing to pay commissions for your time, for your help. But once they become a little bit more experienced, they're gonna want more things. For example, this is a list of everything that we provide to our agents. We'll provide the follow-up boss. We'll provide transaction management. We have an on-site marketing manager. We have an on-site videographer who will do all their social media videos. We'll do all their listing photos. We'll do listing uploads. We'll make sure we write purchase contracts for them, listing agreements. We'll deal doctor for them. We'll even send out marketing or do advertising on their behalf. We'll do monthly emails. We do all of this stuff for our agents, but we didn't start there. The first thing and the only thing I provided in the very beginning was buyer leads and support. And most new agents are willing to spend 50 or 60% of their commission if they can have somebody who is dedicated in their corner to help them close the deal. Number 2, client offerings. Most agents provide the same exact service as everybody else in their entire city. I'm serious, it's like going to the shoe store and every single shoe is exactly the same. You need to differentiate yourself so you provide a different service than everyone else. And that's hard, and you have to figure out what that looks like for you. But I'll give you our 2 examples. The first thing we have is the Crown Buyer Program. And this is a program we offer to our first-time home buyers. And here's what we do. The first thing is we'll cover their first $3,500 towards their first home. We got escrow and we got the lender to chip in and cover this so we don't have to pay out of pocket. The next thing is we got our lender to provide a rate match guarantee. So if they find another lender, our current lender will match it. And we tell them if they're not handy, if something breaks in the first year of homeownership, we will cover the repair cost free of charge. And all we do by that is just pay $600 for a home warranty. Plus, we give them a commitment guarantee. If they're not happy with their home in the first 12 months, we will sell it for free within 12 months of homeownership. Plus, when you buy a home with us, your mortgage payment isn't going to be due for the first 60 days after closing. And our lender does a soft pull, so it's not going to impact your credit score up until closing. And we'll guarantee that we can do a 21-day purchase when you buy this home, so it's so easy. We give this to every single first-time home buyer that we meet. So when they walk into an open house of ours, we have a big X banner that says, ask about our Crown Buyer Program and see how you can get $3,500 towards your first purchase. And every buyer that walks into an open house sees that sign. And even if they already have an agent they're working with, they say, hey, Devin, how do I get a part of this program? And you will flip and switch so many buyers by just having something that is different than everybody else. Our second offer is our military buy a home for $1 campaign. Truly, our military buyers that are brand new can buy a home with us, and all they need to do is spend $1. Talk about an offer. The last point to this is it took us a couple iterations to get these offers right and figure out what the buyers in our market were responding to. So we tested a bunch of different things. We tested buy a home with us and you'll get a $3,000 refrigerator. Nobody cared. So try it, test it, see what people respond to, and then adapt it to what works for you. But the most important point of this focus is when you're offering this package, it has to match the audience we're presenting it to. Our buy a home for $1 military campaign, we have tents set up outside of military booths where we advertise, or at the open house where the first-time homebuyer walks into. It needs to match. Number 3, execution. You need to set a cadence of accountability in your organization. This is with team members and staff. And here's what we do. First thing is, with all of our agents, every Monday morning, we do a pipeline review. This is where we get on a Zoom call, we go one by one through all of the leads in their database, and I help them to move them along down the pipeline. The next form of accountability is we do a all-team meeting at 1 o'clock on every Monday. This is where we get together, we share wins, changes to the organization, and we review operating procedures. So I'll review our buyer process, I'll review our seller process. You want to constantly be reminding them. I find that agents need less training and more reminding. So when I critique them, I always say, Danny, I'm not critiquing you on this, I'm just reminding you, you need to do XYZ. Then at Wednesdays at 2 o'clock, we always do a new agent meeting where we'll do a deep dive on a topic. So let's say we're going over Zillow leads. We'll listen to Zillow recordings, we'll practice scripts, we'll go over the buyer checklist process, we'll review leads in everybody's database together, but every week we do a deep dive on one topic and we're constantly getting them better. And the last thing I'll say about this is the execution is what matters most. I would much rather have an average idea with great execution rather than a great idea with poor execution. Because so many people think the idea is what matters, but the execution and the consistency in their role is the hardest part. If you as a leader cannot consistently perform for your agents and for your clients, they are going to find somebody else that can. Number 4, leverage. In any company I run, I try and get the most amount of results out of the least amount of effort, AKA leverage. I see so many agents who constantly make the mistake of trying to do more and add more to the plate. More, but they don't ever focus on better, or they don't ever focus on systems or people or processes in place that will handle that workload for you so you can focus on the best performing activities. For example, let's say you need to spend 4 or 5 hours writing or preparing an MLS sheet, a listing to go live. It's actually a lot easier for an assistant to do that, to spend the time to make it perfect, and then you go in and you review the sheet itself, because that only takes 20 or 30 minutes. And so you're leveraging people by paying them, or you're leveraging technology through automations to get a job done so you aren't constantly having to add more to your plate. You can only work 8, 10, 16 hours a day at the very most before you just run out of time. Number 5, agent onboarding. You gotta establish a clear, written agent onboarding process. Here is what ours look like. It is beautiful. We have spent 3 years perfecting this thing. I'll put a link in below so you can download a copy of it somehow. But ours started as 5 or 6 steps. Our first step was meet them to review the process. Step 2 was to call their database. It doesn't have to be fancy, but you have to have something in writing so the agents know what is expected of them. Because for us, our number 1 goal when we bring an agent on board is I want them to have an open and escrow within the first 30 days of joining our team. Because this makes sure they're happy, they're making more money, we're making money, and they like you more when they're making money. It's just easier. So you gotta figure out the systems that will get you there. Number 6, lead generation. Look, the agents in your company will stay longer, be happier, close more deals if you're giving them leads. Try to give them 2 to 3 leads per week. And this can come from anywhere, but ideally advertising rather than prospecting. So it could come from Zillow, realtor.com, it could come from direct mail, it could be radio ads, social media, blogging, different events, Google pay-per-click. It doesn't matter where the leads come from, you just need leads coming into your company. I would recommend planning to spend 20% of your annual budget on advertising. You need to feed the salespeople, otherwise they're not gonna close anything. Number 7, the dance. So once you have all these items set up, it's really just this play between operations, sales, and marketing. And so what you do is you spend some money on marketing and it goes to your sales team. And your sales team's working it really hard, but they get all messed up because they don't have good systems to follow. So then you spend some time on operations and you get that dialed in. Now your salespeople are a lot easier and have more time available, so you need more leads. So you spend more on advertising and you make your advertising a little better. And now you have more leads for the salespeople, but they get stuck and you need more people. So now you have operations. So it's this dance between operations, sales, and marketing. And your job is to constantly figure out which one you need to be working on to improve and grow the organization. Keep in mind, every one of these components might take you 6+ months to learn and then implement. It's a process. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I know a lot of agents that are. You're gonna make a lot fewer mistakes and you're gonna make a lot more money if you do. Aloha.